Hey everyone, it doesn't seem possible, but we are starting our 4th week of school. After this week, we're going to have a whole month done already. I swear the semester just flies by. So, if you're already feeling a little panicked, like you're not quite keeping up or you're needing some help, maybe creating a schedule for yourself during the week or just figuring out how to get all your work done, you've got to reach out and let your teachers know. So, even if it's not just in my class, I can help you work that out. Maybe, create some kind of schedule that makes it easier for you to get everything done and feel a little bit more comfortable with where you are. Because if you just hope that maybe it's going to get better, it might not. It might actually get worse. You find yourself behind. And that is the worst thing that can happen with online schooling, to get behind, because then you're in that perpetual state of panic and not feeling very good about what you're doing and about school in general. So make sure that you are reaching out and asking for help if that's the case. Now, we also have a lot of students starting late. So one thing I want you guys to do is go back into that week 1 folder. Remember we had that inference discussion and you made comments about each other's quotes. So I would appreciate if you'd go back and maybe take a look at that again, and there will be new class members that have posted there that you didn't see their information before. Who knows, you might see somebody in there that you didn't realize was in the class, somebody that you know. Maybe there's somebody you think you might have something in common with, or something that there might be people who have not had their quotes commented on, and you can leave a comment or start a discussion. Guys, feel free to use that area to do more than just write an inference. If you want to start asking questions of people or creating discussion there, I'll leave it open for a while if you would like to use that to get to know your classmates a little bit better. So know that that's still open and you can go back and do that. Now, as far as this week, you have your first assessment. And your assessments are worth a very, very big portion of your grade, because those are what we consider summative assignments. So some of your work is formative. That means you're just, doing the learning, basically forming your ideas. So a lot of those learning checks that you have in the units and some of the assignment, or all of the assignments, are considered formative. And then when you get to an assessment, that's where the majority of your grade is based. So you need to take the assessments very seriously. That's where I'm asking you to now show your learning. So this is one of the hard parts about being an online student. That means you have to go back over your past assignments, make sure that you've gone over them, make sure you've gone back into those learning checks. And guys, if you don't know how to get back into your previous assignments and see feedback, you've got to let me know. Now remember, the course info folder also has some of that information, so look in there. But then stop by my work session, or just reach out and let me know that you need help accessing your old assignments if you're not sure how to do that. You can do it straight from your grades. You can click on an assignment name in there, and then that takes you back to the submission page. And from that submission page, you need to click on your submission. And then that takes you to an area where you can see feedback. So great thing is that on your assessments, you still have access to all of that. But I wouldn't recommend just waiting for an assessment and then thinking, oh, maybe I'll check that out. It would take you way too long to get through an assessment if you're using that approach. But know that in my class, the assessments are set up so that you're applying content, you're applying information, so you're showing me what you've learned, which means it's okay to access that learning. So you can look at content in the course, you can look at your old assignments, you can look at notes you've taken. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to keep you from doing that anyway because you're online. So really, the biggest form of cheating when it comes to an assessment is plagiarism. So at no point should you be copying and pasting anything and putting it into a short answer or essay question, short answer essay type question. So no copying and pasting, absolutely everything has to be in your own words. So this assessment for Unit 1 is a more traditional assessment. I think I told you in a previous recording that you would have some that are project-based assessments. This first one is pretty traditional. It has multiple choice, true, false, short answer essay questions, some ordering questions, that sort of thing. So make sure you're really taking your time. A couple things I want you to do. First of all, before you take the assessment, make sure you are looking at your past assignments, make sure you're understanding the content, and then reaching out to me if you feel like you still need help understanding any of that. And then wait to take the assessment until you're sure you're ready. So even though on your weekly intro, I have the assessment on your suggested schedule for Monday, notice I also said if you want more time to review, then take the exam later in the week. It really doesn't matter. If you move on to Unit 2, start that content. If you feel like, I'm just not quite ready to take this assessment yet today, I want to wait. And it might be because you've submitted some late work and I don't have all of it graded yet and you need that feedback. And besides late work, I mean, my first priority Monday morning is going to be to make sure all of your earth science work is graded so you can use that. If it's not graded yet, if I'm a little bit behind and I don't have it all done, then you might want to wait until I do have that done, either later in the day Monday or later in the week if you feel like later in the day Monday doesn't work for you, just so you have that feedback before you take that unit exam. So that's flexible. When you take that exam during the week is flexible. Take it when you're ready. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the rest of the week. Your objectives are after that assessment because this is really for the new content. This is for Unit 2, Session 1. Now, there's a lot here. If you scroll through this, you might think, oh my gosh, what is this woman doing? Look at all these pages. However, some of this really should be review. You should have been introduced to plate tectonics, certainly continental drift, when you were in middle school. So what I do is give you enough information that if you need review, or maybe some of you haven't been exposed to it, it's there so that it's there if you need it. For some of you, you might just need to pick out parts that you didn't know, like for instance the parts about seismic waves and specifically how seismic waves help us identify the Earth's layers. Maybe you need more review on the Earth's layers and less review on continental drift. That really is going to depend on the individual. So there's also information that probably goes a little deeper than what you had when you were in middle school. You may not have been introduced to the magnetic polarity evidence or seafloor magnetism. So these are things that you might have to spend more time on. So on these pages, remember that that's the great thing about being in control, is that you can decide which areas you need to spend more time, which areas you need to spend less, where you might want to take a few notes. Notes are so important, guys, and I know that that's really hard to have that discipline to say, yes, I'm going to do that, do this, take notes, but that really does help in your understanding and help you learn. And remember, that's the overall goal, right? It's not just to get points, it's to learn the content. That's the whole point here. That's why you're going to school. So, gosh, not to get too philosophical on you here, but if you can change your mindset from, I'm just clicking on assignments and getting points, to, no, I'm learning this content, I'm actually learning something about the Earth, and I'm understanding this content because I'm reading and taking the time and taking notes, you might actually find it a little bit more enjoyable if you just switch that mindset. So as you go through this, I know it looks like a lot, but it shouldn't be too overwhelming, particularly for those of you who have some background, which you should have some background, at least a little bit, for continental drift and plate tectonics. You do have an activity here, how old is the Atlantic Ocean? There are video instructions, so as usual, don't skip these video instructions. That will help you complete the activity. If you still have questions about how to do it, watch that first, then let me know if you have questions. And then again, more content following that, and then you have another learning check, just to make sure that you are focusing in on some of this content. One more time, I know I've told you this before, but maybe you've forgotten, because I know you have, some of you have 6 classes in your schedule and you're thinking, I can't remember what teacher told me what. But when you're taking these learning checks, you definitely want to have the content open. So you want to have, one tab open to what you're, like the quiz here, another tab open. And somebody just pointed out the other day, they didn't realize until recently, I'm in Chrome, and of course I'm on a PC. I can right click and I can say duplicate, and now I've duplicated that tab up there. Okay, so that's how you can very easily just duplicate a tab and then go to where you want to be in the course. Okay, so that's your week. Let me know if there's anything that you feel like you need help with before you take this Unit 1 assessment. Remember, the assessments are 70% of your grade. You've got to take that assessment seriously. Take your time with it. I believe I have it set so that you can resume it. I'm going to check that just as soon as I stop this recording. That means that you can leave the assessment and then go back in before you submit. Like if you realize, oh, this is over my head, I need to spend some more time preparing for this, then you can leave the assessment as long as you don't submit. Once you submit, that's it, you're done. It's submitted and you only get one submission. So take your time. Don't submit till you're ready, and let me know if you have questions before you take that assessment. All right, well, hope everybody has a great week. We're going to have a whole month done after this week. Semester's flying by. Keep a positive attitude. Remember, you're here to learn. You guys have a great week.